topic as well this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it's a really great follow-on that there is hope as well for a lot of patients out there, and it's a big step in the right direction. But I think it depends a lot on research, and I think that's why a lot of newspapers have reported it as a hope for cancer patients. Have the next story, and I found it, and it was in the Daily Mail, and I found it to be quite interesting. Covering up shouldn't mean flabby arms and love handles. Muslim woman launches fitness DVD to inspire others with religious obligations. I thought this was a really, really nice article because I'm a bit of a fitness savvy myself, and I've always kind of thought myself to be you know, to think, I was always thinking about being maybe a gym trainer as well, and it was really nice to see this happening. And basically, the sister called Nadine Abu-Jabara from Orlando, Florida. She teamed up with a Puerto Rican-American convert and put together the first Muslim woman fitness DVD of its kind. It's called Naduna Extreme, and Naduna means call on us from Arabic. And basically, the whole point of her project was for people to look at fitness, something quite spiritual, because there's a lot of skin that's shown in a lot of exercise videos, and they kind of entice you, obviously, to kind of have the perfect body, but looking at it from a spiritual perspective and feeling stronger and feeling better rather than just looking better was her aim as well. And they actually raised up more than $50,000 to actually get this running, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic. What do you think about it?
I think it's fantastic. I mean, I really liked it, and I think around a lot of the traditional fitness videos, there's lots of these phrases like getting yourself beach ready, and terms around, you know, obviously geared towards the objectification of women's bodies. So it's nice to see a break away from that. However, we were discussing it earlier, and there are a few little niggly problems that we've got with it.
Yeah, I mean, Islamically, there are a few issues there, but I think the concept of it is really a brilliant one, because we do find a lot within the Muslim community, women aren't geared towards being healthy and fit from a perspective of it being a health thing, not just an appearance thing.
What are some of the issues that you thought might be of some problem or
I
difference
think the sister herself in the article made a brilliant comment. She says that the couscous and biryani is like a very important part of our lives, sort of thing. And it is. I mean, food is one of those things that it brings families and everyone together, doesn't it? And I think for us, it's a huge thing within the Muslim community, because we always like having family and friends over and sharing this time together. And unfortunately, you know, eating good food can have its downfalls. So, you know, mashallah, getting that correct mindset to get women fit and healthy, because at the end of the day, our body is an amana. You know, we should look after it. And plus, in the long run, it's better for us, because if we're thinking about, you know, wanting to look after our families, you know, it's important that we're fit and healthy as well.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. And I think that for a lot of sisters out there, timing and place as well is really, really important, because a lot of sisters may not actually want to go out and sort of maybe free mix, and maybe they don't feel comfortable shaking a few moves or something like that outside in front of people. So it really does actually seem a lot more accommodating to have a sort of DVD fitness program that you can do safely in your home and by a Muslimah as well.
Absolutely.
Do you think is this something that can maybe feature within the UK?
I mean,
market?
absolutely. I said earlier, I'd buy it, definitely. If it was available over here, I'd buy it, because this is the problem. You know, you do get these DVDs here, and they do have, you know, you're scantily clad. And plus, there's also a lot of music. Sometimes it's like, you know, kind of like very club sounding, isn't it? You know, to kind of move away to make it more of an ibadah is it's a really nice idea, and I think a way that would encourage a lot of Muslims to, you know, kind of entrench it in our daily routine.
Absolutely. I mean, if it does come to the UK market, I will certainly, you know, go on Amazon and whatnot and get it, inshallah. Okay, Liz, you've got the last article of the day, 10 old letter writing tips that work for email. This was featured on the BBC, wasn't it?
It was, and I loved this article, to be honest. It's explaining that how before emails, letter writing books were kind of big business, and, you know, everybody bought these books, and because everybody wrote letters to one another. And I have to say, I was a letter writer, and I really enjoyed it, and it's, you know, something that I do miss. So it's really nice to see some of these things transferring to kind of modern day technology. I mean, one of them that I particularly liked, Lewis Carroll, who's obviously the famous author, he wrote this, some kind of tips about letter writing, and one of them says, be more polite. If you've written anything that may offend, put the letter aside for one day, and then read it the next day as if you were the recipient, and then you might want to rethink, because how many of us have typed out an email
and then press send before you've actually fully comprehended it?
And sometimes I find that when you write with, when you know, produce emails or text messages, a lot of the messages can be like really nuanced. So maybe you sound really kind of aggressive, and you don't.
It's really hard to gauge people's tone on email. Oh, yeah, obviously you can't gauge people's tone on email, so sometimes it can be really easy to offend.
But I think it's quite sad that email's taken over so much of our sort of letter writing purposes. I really love the fact that you could get all these wonderful paper for letter writing and envelopes and all these sorts of things, and making sure it all looks nice and it all sounds good. And then the anticipation of getting a reply to that as well.
That's what I miss, the anticipation, because now with emails it's kind of...
It's instant. So and then you get annoyed if you don't get like a reply in like the next 10 minutes. You're like, hello? Do you know, you're obviously getting this on your phone as soon as I send it. Why are you replying?
You know, you can do the read receipt on your email as well. So you're like, I know you've read it, so why haven't you replied?
I think it's really, really important because I know that my granddad used to send letters and whatnot to my parents, and we still have them and it's kept. It's quite sentimental, whereas with text messages, you kind of like delete them and they're lost forever, really,
and it's a big thing. I know my mum bought a book of the letters between Churchill and his wife, kind of before, during and after the Second World War, and it's actually a really nice document, like historical document, and obviously it's something now that we have lost.
Do you think that schools could maybe implement this within the curriculum? Because I know that, you know, a lot of young children out there are really, really techno savvy. I mean, when I was 14, not so long ago, you know, the mobile phone industry was, you know, sort of gaining momentum, and then from then on it's been like really crazy because a lot of young people rely upon texting, and it does affect their educational progress, doesn't it?
Well, this is actually one of my bugbears, to be honest. I think with the computer, so many great things with you know, these technological advances, but we have seen a decline in spelling, and skills like letter writing have kind of gone out the window, haven't they?
I really don't like the abbreviations. It's like sometimes I look at certain texts and I think, what on earth does that mean? What is this? And then, you know, you have to end up sending another text saying, what is this? And the person has to write it out in full for you. And it's like, why don't you just say that in the first place? Yeah, and the thing is that I think that they should bring back the fact that, you know, we used to have pen pals back in school. Bring that back. It's not, because I know they Skype now, but it'd be nice to actually get them to write letters, because like we were saying, the anticipation of receiving something from so far away is just lovely.
Absolutely. The other thing, one of the other tips here is don't forget the paperclip. And obviously this is referring to physically, if you had to paperclip a cheque or something, and now nobody uses cheques either, do we? But you know that thing when you send an email, like, you know, see attached, and then you've forgotten to actually put the attachment on the email.
With letters you can do a PS.
I do that all the time.
Definitely. Just have a look over that great chit-chat over the news. Before we move to a break, we have been running our weekly poll question, and we have been asking you, does practicing Islam help in the relationship between couples and the in-laws? We're excited to know what you guys thought, and we will be revealing the results later on after our discussion, where we will be speaking about whispers of the Shaytan. See you after the break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.